I just watched that episode of Seinfeld, so.
Hello!
Everybody. Episode 31, WWPWW, the worldwide wrestling podcast of Worldwide Wrestling. Ding, ding. And there's the bell, as Michael would say. Jeremy, how doth thee fare this day, my brother?
Pretty good. Getting rid of a headache, so,
Yeah, I had that 2 nights ago. Pretty rough, but,
Stupid headaches.
Yeah, stupid headaches. Well, got some good wrestling.
Yeah.
To talk about, I think so. Some good storyline stuff, some good matches and stuff like that. Yeah. But any news or anything going around you've heard about?
I can't think of much. I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
but,
I really haven't heard. I really haven't heard anything big, so.
Austin Aries is coming to the main events. He's coming, not the main event. He's coming to the main roster for cruiserweight. So that is a little bit of news. The other little bit of news. If you guys didn't know, The Rock is kind of hated by the WWE and Vince McMahon and Triple H because this past week they were at Raw shooting their new film, basically the story of Paige and her family, which it'll be interesting. Rock saw a documentary about her family when he was in the UK and thought it was interesting. He's like, hey, let's make an autobiography about this.
Yeah, I read about her, about Paige's family and her child. Like, she had a really interesting life, so that could make for a really interesting movie.
Yeah, and so basically they're gonna show the match between. I don't know, like I said, I don't know wrestling history in this time. Apparently she wrestled AJ Lee for the women's or the Diva Championship or something, and so they were filming that there, and Rock came out and was like, hey, if you guys stick around, we're gonna film a scene. You guys will all be movie stars. Blah 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 blah. And eventually, he comes out at the end of everything, at the end of Raw, and he's like, you know what? Let's call CM Punk. And Rock, with his rock hard gonads, in the middle of a WWE ring, after a WWE event, Raw for that matter, decides to call up CM Punk. He doesn't get Punk. It goes to his voicemail and whatnot, but Punk eventually gets it and posts on Twitter. It's like, thanks for calling, thank you. Where were they at Raw? They were in California.
It was at a Staples Center.
Staples Center, yeah. Thank you, LA, for whatever. And so he was cordial about it, but Vince and Triple H are not too happy with him because he called CM Punk, and The Rock is who The Rock is,
and also Vince and Hunter need to let it go. So
yeah. I mean, it was so long ago. CM Punk is still holding on to it too, but
but he's not,
he's not grudging it up right now.
He's not making it seem like it's like a big long. This isn't Hatfields and McCoys, like.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things I thought was pretty funny.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know any other news.
I haven't heard any news either. So just didn't know you had. You're a bit more in tune with all that than I am, so I didn't know if you had heard anything. Excuse me. Good quesadilla. Well, you want to jump right into the Raw and the SmackDown?
All right. Let's go into the Raw and SmackDown.
All right.
Starting with Raw.
Monday Night Raw. Jeremy, what were some of the things that you really liked about Raw this week?
Kevin Owens, his the spotlight spot was excellent. It was a great follow-up to the Festival of Friendship, which that montage, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it 100 times, WWE production has the best production you can find out there. And so that whole thing, it made me tear up again, made me remember, made all the feels come right back. And so when you get Kevin Owens in the ring with the spotlight, that whole thing was beautiful. And honestly, it marked a good point in Raw, and I thought Raw just took off after that. There were a couple things that I didn't really care for, like the number 1 contender match out of nowhere for the tag team championships.
Yeah.
That was a little weird. It wasn't a horrible match. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I liked what happened at the end. I think what happens is Cesaro and Sheamus are going to be a tag team for a while, and so that kind of solidified them as a we're going to do this. We're going to be a tag team. This is what we're doing, and with the bro kick to the face.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a great
kick. That can't talk. They both did a great job of that, like to the point to where even when in slow mo when they showed it, it's like he looks like he actually got a piece of that pretty good. So
the other thing, I mean, we could talk about everything that happened. The stuff on Hulu just marked everything that I enjoyed. The other thing before we get into anything else is the cruiserweight signing was really good.
I liked that a lot.
Jack Gallagher. I remember sitting here talking about the CWC and me saying, "Oh, Jack Gallagher's character would not work in the WWE." Boy, was I wrong, and I'm glad to be wrong because Jack Gallagher was one of the most entertaining aspects of the CWC, and to see him actually be one of the best mic men out of the CWC is great. He is great. Neville was very, very good. That whole thing was wonderful. And so those were two of my favorite things outside of the main event, which I loved. But we'll talk about that when we can get to it. Those were the two bright spots for me that I really, really enjoyed. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Kevin Owens starting out that promo, that was awesome. Like, I love that he was just talking smack about Goldberg. It's like, that Festival of Friendship thing turning on Chris Jericho. He's like, that's in the past. That means so little to me. I don't even care.
Yep.
It seemed like he was just putting it off, bringing it up, and then he's like, and now you're probably wondering what I say about Chris Jericho. And then he just drops the mic and walks off. I was like, dang, nice work. Like, really good promo right there. I liked it. And, I love that he's kind of, being the barbarian trying to, act civilized, how he's like in the suit, like Triple H and stuff like that. So, I think that works really good for his, this character turn sort of that they're, being sort of Triple H's puppet or something like that,
Yep.
So, I like that. And, the promo was really good. We didn't see Jericho this week, so can't wait for him to come back whenever it is.
To speak about Jericho for just a second, he is an old school guy, and so he was scheduled for the Raw house shows, but didn't show up. And so because he's still playing this part, he's still playing I'm hurt, I'm not going to be around, and so for him not to be on Raw and not to go to house shows, I like that. I think that that mentality of old school wrestling, if you're hurt on screen, you don't show up until you're better, quote unquote better. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, what else?
Cool.
What else did you enjoy?
I liked. Well, I just completely drew a blank. Sorry, folks. Darn it. The match, the women match.
Bayley and Charlotte. No,
Sasha and Charlotte. I was just like, seriously, again? But I was actually like, okay, this isn't a bad match, and it was different enough, and Bayley and Dana and all them or whatever were there, so it was different enough, And but I thought it was a really good match, I thought it was decent, so because at first I was like, oh come on, like we just got done with this, but then I watched the match and I was like, oh all right, that wasn't bad. I liked the backstage segment between Mick and Steph. I liked that. I thought that was pretty good. Mick finally just being like, pounding his chest and being like, I'm my own man. Oh, I actually hurt myself. I'm my own man. Like, you hired me to do my job, and then you're trying to do my job. So, which is it? And I really liked it. I thought, the kind of growing animosity between them week after week is pretty cool. It seems natural too. Like it seems natural for both their characters, because he's, because he's sort of like, I don't want to let Stephanie down. I don't want to usurp her. I don't want her to think this or that. But at the same time, he's like, I need to remain true to the boys in the locker room. I need to be honest for the stars and the, backstage. So, it seems very genuine on both their parts for their characters.
I agree.
And I'm trying to think. Like, I thought it was a really good Raw, man. There was a lot of good stuff with it, but I'm trying to think of anything else that really stood out to me.
At first glance, with because we also got the club versus Roman Reigns again. At first glance, you look at that and you're like, oh, they did this last week. It was dumb last week. It's gonna be dumb this week. And when you think of it out of context of the story that they're building between Roman and Braun, yeah, it looks dumb. But they have to make Roman look as big as Braun. Why not put him against the two of the best or biggest tag teams? You know, two of the biggest guys in the tag team division. That makes sense. It wasn't like the greatest match, but the end, the spear that Carl Anderson took, that was amazing. That was a really, really cool spot.
For sure. Anytime Roman spears somebody out of midair, even the people who hate him are like, okay, that was cool. Like,
yeah. And then with the whole Bayley before the match, Bayley and Steph kind of get into it, and they're kind of, I don't know if they're building something there or what, but I mean, they're pushing Steph into this authority figure again phase, and I don't really care for that, but you got to have some bad guyness. But Stephanie not really pleading with her, kind of goading her and be like, you should do the right thing. And and I'm glad Bayley said what she did at the table when the match was going on. She was like, you know what? It was when Dana came out, Sasha just came out to kind of reverse that whole thing. I was going to win. Now Dana came out, and so Sasha came out, and so in her mind, going forward, she knows or she thinks that that's the best thing that could have happened is that Sasha came out to rectify the situation with Dana Brooke. So I'm glad she said that during the match. But yeah, and then we get DDP going to the Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
Which is great.
I already thought he was in. Like,
really?
I seriously thought they announced it, and I was like, wait, I thought he was already in. Oh, he's not? Okay. Well, hey, awesome, DDP, sweet. Like, okay, speaking of DDP,
yeah.
Halloween Havoc, 1998, Goldberg versus DDP, awesome match. One of the greatest counters of all time.
Oh, I'm sure.
He counters the jackhammer into the diamond cutter. It's sweet.
DDP is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and kind of the guy I forget about at times because he's not wrestling now. But you go back to '95, and he's one of the bright spots in WCW. He doesn't get a whole lot. Like, he had a gimmick that he was the heel, and his lady is what she was called at the time. His manager, lady, they were having a dispute between him and Johnny B. Bad, and
there's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
I know. And then Johnny B. Bad had to leave, left because of contract stuff and whatever else. But he was when you watch the '95 when the Raw and Nitro war starts happening, he is one of the bright spots because he's a great wrestler and he just continues to be a bright spot. And when they brought him, when the NWO was huge and they were going to bring DDP in, and he's like no, and he diamond cuts Razor Ramon. Well, I guess he's not Razor. Scott Hall.
Mm-hmm.
You fall in love with the guy because he is the people's champ before The Rock was the people's champ. And so, yeah, DDP, well worth the Hall of Fame, and awesome. Can't wait to see who's next.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool if they did a Hall of Fame match between DDP and Kurt Angle, like at the Hall of Fame ceremony or something like that. Like, or like, when they honor all the Hall of Fame people at WrestleMania, they come out and then all of a sudden, they have like tearaway clothes like, Cesaro does. And it's just like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special announcement, a Hall of Fame match between DDP and Kurt Angle. That'd be sweet.
That'd be fun.
Because we would all win if that happened.
We would. So two other things. Well, I mean, there was a Sami Zayn. We get the continuation of the Samoa Joe Sami Zayn feud, which I
like it.
I do too. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I like where it's going. And then KO pretty much squashes him after the match.
Yeah.
Just walks out. But one of the coolest things before the main event was the Brock Lesnar Paul Heyman interview. with Michael Cole. Some people are like harping on it, like, oh, that was really dumb, stupid. Actually, a lot of people hated this episode, and
Really?
I have no idea why. I've listened to several different people like, oh, this episode wasn't as good, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this episode from, there was a couple hiccups, but not horrible. And I think the especially with the Roman Reigns club match, Roman spearing Anderson out of the air, like that rectified it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it after that. But the Lesnar Heyman interview was brilliant. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, it was just like it gave you this like sense of uneasiness because Brock Lesnar was just staring at the camera, and then slowly but surely this like psychotic grin just slowly started forming on his face, and you could hardly see Paul Heyman. You just heard him talking, and it was just like, this is crazy. Like, it's just like, wow, I think Goldberg broke Brock Lesnar, and now Brock Lesnar is just like gonna straight up murder people.
I think WWE has built this pretty brilliantly. When going into WrestleMania, Brock's going to win. He's going to win the Universal title, and he'll have the Universal title. And I think it'll be Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar.
You think?
I think
That'd be cool.
After that, and I think Brock will give it back to Kevin, and then I think a great program would be him and Finn, because Finn needs a title shot again. But yeah, this interview was just, it was brilliant. Paul Heyman, one of the best mic men, if not the best mic man of any generation, maybe. He's really, really good for that matter. But I like that. I like the whole, I think, but my client disagrees.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but my client disagrees. That was cool. I mean, he did that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, with the but yeah, he's great at stuff like that.
And then he's like, on that, my client Brock Lesnar agrees, and it's like, that was a great promo.
It was a great job.
My favorite thing about Raw was the main event. And I mean, I got to the main event, and I'm like, man, Big Show and Braun are wrestling. I wonder what's after this.
Mm-hmm.
Was my first thought. I was like, wait, this is the main event? Big Show hasn't main evented probably anything that I remember in the last, for a long time. But when they started wrestling and the stuff that they tried to do, I was just like, this match was really, really good. What did you think about the match?
I liked it too. I was just like, like, I love that they brought up I forgot who it was. I can't remember if it was Byron. I think it was Corey, but one of them's like, wow, this is just like, an old Godzilla movie, two titans, battling in the streets of Tokyo and knocking over buildings or whatever he said.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, this kind of is like King Kong versus Gigan or King Kong versus Godzilla or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to see somebody do an edit, a mashup, like where they play like Godzilla sound effects to this match, so you hear like, and then like the buildings crumbling and stuff. That'd be funny. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I'm just like, these both guys are kind of slow workers. They're both big guys, so I wonder. But yeah, I was surprised. They did some good stuff. Like Braun has been doing a drop kick recently, and it's pretty good. And Big Show did some really awesome stuff. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Like I was kind of not really dreading it, but I was just kind of like, weary of it. I was just like, I don't know about this, just because they're both so big. Matches that have a big guy usually work because there's a littler guy.
Yep.
And so the action isn't quite as slow because they're both huge guys. They can do more stuff and whatever. But yeah, it was awesome. Like,
I was pleasantly surprised. There was a kip up by Braun Strowman. What? The dude, I mean, granted, Big Show probably helped him. It was during an arm bar type thing, and I'm assuming the Big Show helped him a little bit. But for crying out loud, yeah, like you said, the drop kicks and what they were trying to do in the psychology of this match, what they were showing that they were going to try to do on the turnbuckles. I don't care if they were going to do it or not. my brain was going into if both of these big guys are gonna suplex off the top rope. There's no way this ring is gonna hold up at all.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they showed, I don't know, they didn't show it on the Hulu version, but they showed them reinforcing the ring, which I didn't get to see. But even so, this match was really, really well done. And from what I understand, well, first of all, these guys have been wrestling on house shows for the last couple of months, and so they've perfecting some things and getting to this point, doing body slam matches. I don't care if at the end they were whatever they were trying to do with if Braun was trying to catch Big Show into the slam. I don't care if that was a mess up or not. Having the two slams was great. It makes Big Show look strong. It makes Braun look even bigger. Doing that, and so that was really, really cool. And also, from what I understand, after this match, Roman Reigns comes out and they start fighting, and they get a drop kick from there, and then a bulldog, what I'm going to call a bulldog slam.
Because that's what it is.
That's what it is. From what I understand, they've had a house match. I don't know if it was this past week that apparently was Roman and Braun had a house match that was amazing.
Really?
And there was tweets.
I'm gonna have to try to check it out.
Yeah, if it's out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody who has a phone video of it. So.
But there were tweets saying that if they do this at Fastlane, it's gonna be one of the best matches on Fastlane.
Nice.
And so I'm looking forward to that. That really pumps me up. But yeah, I thought the beginning of Raw was amazing. The end of Raw was better than I have ever expected. What did you think about the whole of Raw?
I think this might have been the best Raw the new year so far. I would probably say that. Like, I can't think of another Raw that really stood out as quite this good. We've had some good ones. We've had some stinkers, and we've had some good ones. But yeah, this one I thought just all in all down the stretch as a whole was pretty decent. Like, I was just like, man, there really wasn't anything I hated. Like, I didn't even skip anything. Like, every so often I'm just like, I don't care, and I skip, but yeah, this time I was just like I wasn't skipping anything, and I just really liked it. And the main event, I was like, that's the main event? Like, wow, I hope it's really good, but I don't know, but then, yeah, it was really good, and Roman came out, and then, like, they made Braun look like just a monster, like, and it actually, and like Roman actually got a pretty decent reception this week. Still mixed, but it was better. So it seems like they're pairing him up with Braun Strowman by the Gentle Giant Big Show that everybody loves. Having Braun Strowman beat him, everybody's like boo, and then Roman comes out, and then so I think that was kind of a good choice. But yeah, I thought the part in the main event match where Braun jumps off the middle rope, and then Big Show just KO punched him. Like, I was just like, oh no, Sid Vicious. Like, I was like thinking he was gonna break his leg, jumping off the rope and landing like that. I was just like, no. But then, but it worked out great. Like, it was a good spot and stuff, and yeah, I thought it was really good.
Awesome. So this episode of Raw, out of 5 Stone Cold IPAs, what would you give it?
I would give it a 4. Man, 4 easy. Like, it was really, really good. I don't think I've given anything a 5 at all, but this is probably to an episode of Raw or SmackDown, this is probably the closest to giving something a 5. As I have. Like, it was really, really, I know there's some stuff I've probably given a 4.5 to, but yeah, like, this one was really, really good.
Yeah, I messaged you right after I watched this that I would give it a 5, and I think I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll give it a 5. I think I'll give it a 4.8. There were just for nitpickiness, like the match with Roman and the club didn't even happen. However, the spear, the Superman punch and the spear was amazing. This is the first number 1 contender match out of nowhere. That made no sense to me. So those two things, I mean, it wasn't much. Like I said, the match with the tag team match was relatively okay, and then the end. So I'm gonna give it a 4.8, just because those two things were kind of weird. So anyway, that's what I think about Raw, and that's what you think about.
So, real quick before we move on to SmackDown.
Okay.
When I heard that the Rock was in the building, I was like, okay, I want this to happen. It's not gonna happen, but it might happen.
Okay.
It's probably not gonna happen, but it might. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, but it might happen. I was just like, dude, during their entrance when he comes, the big Cass and Enzo, like when they come out, like I was thinking it would be awesome if like Enzo comes out and he goes, "My name is Enzo," and then all of a sudden on the Titantron you hear, "It doesn't matter what your name is."
That would have been awesome.
I was just like, that's not gonna happen, but it might happen.
But it might.
That would have been sweet, man.
I think if they ever turn heel, I think that would be something The Rock could do. Because I mean, yes, The Rock could quote unquote come back as a heel, but the reality is people love him.
Yeah.
And so
even if he is a heel,
yeah.
like in 2012 against John Cena, he was a heel.
Yeah.
Everybody was cheering him and booing Cena. Like nobody will ever boo The Rock, ever.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. I hope someday they figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be really
like
really
even
fun.
if it's just a mic battle, even if it's just talking trash back and forth.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would even be fine. Like, it doesn't have to be a match or like a program between them, a feud, but even just a mic battle between Enzo and Cass and The Rock, like, oh.
Well, I mean, that could even happen. We should tweet them both and be like, "Hey, Rock, put them on your YouTube page. We want to see that. We want to see a battle between you two. Make this happen, please." Because I think that would be awesome.
That would be. That would be so awesome. Someday.
All right, so that was Raw and what happened after Raw. We move on to SmackDown Live. And so, Caleb, you were really, really psyched to talk about SmackDown Live. And so I will let you run the SmackDown Live.
Okay. I'm going to... this is why I was so excited for it. Because you were right. You called it. I was just like, holy crap, it happened. He called it. Like, and what I am referring to, listeners, what's up, Ryan? Is like the thing, the False Count Anywhere match. They went backstage. They bumped into Maurice, and I was like, oh, who is that? And then like I heard Merle go, wait, was that Maurice? And I was like, no. Oh, dude, he called his shot. And then Maurice comes out with the pipe and just goes to town on Nikki, and then and then Miz came out and was like dragging her, and I loved her reaction when he picks her up and is dragging her away, and Maurice is just kicking and flailing and like yelling. I was like, that's awesome. Like, and I was just like, dude, call the shot. Like so I was just like, that's awesome, and I was so happy that it happened because I wanted it to happen.
Sure.
And so I was just like, oh, that'd be awesome. I hope they do that. And then they did. Like, you totally had it. And I was just like, but, including that, I loved SmackDown this week. I thought it was awesome. The opening tugged at my heart a little. Like, that was hard because, I was like, oh, I'm so happy for Naomi, and that's awesome and stuff. And, she relinquished the title. And like, Daniel, his voice was kind of breaking a little too because he knows exactly what she's going through, and so that was kind of hard. But but they got some good heel heat for Alexa off of it, and
she got really good heel heat. Like the crowd absolutely hated
her. Like what they call X-Pac heat.
Yeah, like the crowd hated her, and she played well off the crowd.
She did, man, and hopefully Naomi will. It's 40 days till WrestleMania, and they say that she can't, wrestle for 30 days or something like that, like she can't.
At least. So
hopefully she'll be back by then, that would be awesome. So, hopefully, excuse me, that'll work out there. But, yeah, man, so much. The main event was awesome. Kind of a screwy finish, but, they're driving towards something, so.
Yep.
I was fine with that. What about you? What all were? Oh yeah, where they showed like the videos of the superstars. like talking about the match and like hyping themselves up. I loved that Dean Ambrose had like a cutout picture of Baron Corbin on the wall, like like a serial killer, like or something like it reminded me of Sideshow Bob, how he always had a picture of Bart in his cell and stuff like that, like so I thought that was really funny.
For me, a couple funny things. One, Naomi kept calling Daniel Bryan by his real name.
Yeah, she kept calling him Brian.
Brian's like, okay. I mean, I'm sure she was extremely emotional, and so she had to go out there, maybe on script, but probably not as much on script as we think. And so she never called him Daniel. She always called him Brian. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, Alexa Bliss coming out, and the way she made that crowd angry. And so anytime she talked, they were really, really screamy. And when Daniel started talking after she was talking, they shut up. I was like, wow, man, they really hate her, which is great. She's got that heat, which is what she needs.
Yeah, it's good. Because like that's actually one thing that I agree with Adam Pacitti about was there's no good heels anymore because everybody just claps and goes, awesome, good heel work. Like they're not, they're hardly booing people anymore. So it's good that, that's happening. That they're actually booing and stuff like that and getting into it instead of just going, oh, she's such a good heel, awesome, yeah. Or like, how you and me do with Miz. How we're just like when we first got back into wrestling, it's like, I hate The Miz. Now we're just like, The Miz is the best heel. Like, yeah. He's awesome, like, But with Alexa, like, yeah, it's, kind of going back to the old school days of like, no, you're the bad guy, I'm booing you. Like,
yeah, exactly. And we respect her for doing that. We respect her for being that kind of heel. I mean, we can know what's real and what's fake. So,
yeah.
So I mean, we know that she's doing her job, and she did her job well this week. The match they had wasn't too bad.
With Becky?
Yeah, with Becky.
I liked it. It wasn't bad at all.
Pretty much, this episode was all about continuing the storylines they already have in place and starting new ones. We got my favorite thing about the whole thing was the Maurice and the Miz storyline with John Cena and Nikki. Because that match, I didn't really care for the Nikki Natalia match. There was some really good spots.
I liked it.
There were some really good.
I liked it.
There were some really good spots, but overall, it wasn't awesome. It wasn't what I thought it could be, or should have been. But I don't really care because I like what they're setting up. I liked Maurice coming out and just nailing her with the steel pipe or whatever they called it.
It's probably probably a piece of PVC pipe spray painted metallic.
Yeah. And the Miz coming out to drag her away, and what happens in the Battle Royal, Cena throwing the Miz over, and the Miz coming over and throwing John Cena over, and then the Miz hightailing it out, doing "you can't see me" thing. That was really good. I like where that's going. Setting up, I really hated the Usos.
Really?
I really hated the Usos because they came out and they were just yelling. Like, they could have simmered down a little bit.
Yeah, they were hyped.
Yeah, they were hyped, and it was obnoxious. And that whole match, Breezango and American Alpha, was just stupid, in my opinion. I didn't like SmackDown that much.
Really?
Outside of the storylines progressing and the storylines coming into play. Other than that, I really don't have a whole lot of kind words to say, which is fine. It's all right. I really enjoyed enjoyed Raw. The things I liked about SmackDown, like I said, was the Maurice and Nikki and John Cena, Miz. I liked Dean's promo. The Miz's promo was very well done.
Yes.
AJ didn't have a promo, but he was going around. That whole thing was funny. Do you know where I'm going? Do you know where I'm going? I'm going to WrestleMania! And he walks away.
He just starts kicking stuff.
Dolph Ziggler has gone crazy.
Yeah.
I hate his voice. Like, he needs to figure this out because his voice is dumb. The super kick to the cloth was kind of stupid. Mojo, WrestleMania. Okay, we get it, Mojo. Luke's was really well done.
Yeah,
I'm free. Luke's. Nowhere left for him to run.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Baron's was okay. He's like,
I totally thought
destruction.
I thought he was gonna pull a Stone Cold, because he goes, because Baron Corbin, and I'm like, is he gonna say said so? And he goes, because Baron Corbin, and I was just like, okay, I thought he was gonna steal. Thought we were gonna have gimmick infringement here, but no, okay.
Part of me wonders if that's where he was going to go, and then he stopped himself.
Yeah.
Because Baron Corbin.
Or it would have been funny if he actually did say it, because Baron Corbin said so, and then like they forgot to turn the sound off, so you heard him just go, "Uh-oh, gonna be in trouble for that one."
That would have been funny. Apollo Crews' promo was dumb, and then Randy and Bray had a little promo thing. John Cena never had a promo.
Yeah.
In that whole thing, which was
He
weird.
didn't. That was weird.
But yeah, the 10-man, like I said, everything else was meh. The 10-man Battle Royal was fun to watch. Like I said, they were setting up storylines. They're going to continue the Dolph versus Apollo Crews and Kalisto thing. I'm great and happy about Baron Corbin and Dean. I love that.
Me too. I love that Dean came out and just, as soon as he got in the ring, he just ran up to Baron Corbin and started beating him. And it's like, whoa, getting it started right now. And then they just rang the bell.
Yeah, it's so, like, I don't know why Mojo was in there. I guess just to throw over or whatever. He was just kind of there. Trying to think of what else. And then we get another 2-man German suplex. I liked when Cena was going for the five knuckle shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
He ran into the end of days. That was cool. Let's see what else. The elimination, how Cena eliminates Miz, Miz eliminates Cena. That was great. And then I really want to see. I can't wait for next week because we get the main event as AJ Styles versus Luke Harper to see who the number one contender is after the, like you said, the wonky finish to SmackDown. I loved the rope play after everybody was gone, and when they were playing on the ropes. Both times when they were in the corner, when they eventually do it, and when they were on the side, just going back and forth. That stuff was really, really fun to watch. Yeah. So that's what I thought.
I really liked all the stuff that you liked. Like there was some stuff that was kind of weird. Like,
yeah.
You know, and stuff. But, you know, this is definitely a mixed bag. This is one of the first SmackDowns where I was like, but the stuff that I really, really liked, I really, really liked. And so, but yeah, I was just so stoked to talk about it because I was like, Jeremy called the shot, man. Like, it's awesome.
I just felt like it was obvious. But yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, the Usos, that was kind of weird. They were like really excited. Apparently, they're really excited about being heels, I guess, because it seems like they're just going nuts for it and stuff. Like, it did make them look really psychotic and make them look like bad guys, but still, it was, yeah, they were just yelling the whole time.
It was just weird, and I don't know if they were told to go out.
That match was just garbage too, like the Breezango one.
I don't know if the Usos were just told out and say, "Hey, go say whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
because and they just stumbled over each other and stuff. They were kind of like that way on Talking Smack. They were on Talking Smack as well afterwards. They were better on Talking Smack than they were out there, but still.
Yeah, because the promo they did last week was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, on the Titantron, like, that was really good. But then, yeah, this week they just kind of went overboard.
And to put this whole thing into perspective, and the reality is this SmackDown Live is a filler show.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have so many weeks until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We still have tons of weeks to go. And so when you look at the SmackDown, when we look at the SmackDown Live, we have to realize there are so many SmackDown Lives left until WrestleMania. And so to say, oh, this SmackDown was really, really dumb, really, really bad, I can say that. But the reality is you got to pull back and you got to think, what is their long-term term goal? And so I think they set up a decent story arc to get there to WrestleMania. And so we'll see what happens next week. I'm interested in the AJ Styles and Luke Harper next week.
For sure. I was hoping they'd do that. So, like, when they both went over, I was like, they're either going to reset it, you know, they're going to restart the match, and then one of them is going to win in the next couple minutes here, or they're going to do a match next week. So, you know, so that's really key.
I think that was it. I had one other thought. I thought it would be funny if the Miz, during or after the John Cena Miz feud, sometime afterwards, Miz starts growing out his hair and then growing facial hair, and he actually looks like Daniel Bryan because he's doing all the moves. Like he just gets so like Cena beats him, Miz just gets thrown into this crazy like, oh man, I'm really tired of life. I'm just gonna, and he just grows his hair out and he looks like
Daniel
Bryan, and that would be funny.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, that's all I have to talk about SmackDown Live. Anything else for you?
Nothing's coming to mind. I liked JBL's little reference, his comment he made when the Breezango were in the ring waiting for American Alpha, and he goes, "Look, it's Captain Stubing," or whatever he said. Like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
That was funny. Even the commentary was weird this week at a couple times. Like, there was a point, I don't remember when, they were arguing over each other, and I'm like, I don't understand anything you're saying. It was a weird week for SmackDown Live, and I don't know, like I said, it's probably just because it's a throwaway episode. Mm-hmm. They've got so many other weeks it's the setup episode for what's going to come towards WrestleMania. And so, anyway.
Yeah, short episode this week.
Yeah, which is all right.
41 minutes talking about both shows.
Yeah.
That's crazy short for what we usually do. So, anything else we want to
talk about throwing around? IPAs, first of all. How many IPAs would you give SmackDown?
I don't know, maybe a 3. Just because the stuff that was good about it, was really good, and the storyline, all the storyline stuff, advancing the storylines, did a good job, and the main event was pretty good, and so yeah, I'd give it a 3, soft 3.
I would give it a hard 3 because of what you said about so many storylines were progressing. The storyline between Becky and Mickey, the storylines between the Usos and American Alpha, the storylines between all the people involved outside of Mojo Rawley. Sorry, Mojo, you need to do something. Feud with Kurt Hawkins or whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I give it a hard 3. Anyway. So yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about today about wrestling?
I don't know. Nothing's really coming to my mind.
No, I mean.
Yeah.
Next week we'll talk about Fastlane or predictions about Fastlane.
Do a prediction show for the Fastlane pay-per-view.
Right. I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, me too. I hope it's good. I hope it's better than Roadblock was.
Yeah.
And that one was.
Yeah.
It seems like the Raw exclusive pay-per-views are just kind of hit and miss. So
yeah.
Hopefully this one's good. It's shaping up like it could be really good. But just hope that the road to WrestleMania becomes more clear, that we'll start getting really, really, really excited, and we'll have a good idea of what stuff is going to be happening. So, yeah.
Prediction for Fastlane: I predict Chris Jericho will interfere in the Universal title and cost Kevin Owens the title. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that'd be cool to have him actually help Goldberg in a match, given their history from WCW. That'd be cool. But I listened to the Talking Jericho podcast. Kevin Owens was on it. It was actually recorded like the day before the day of Survivor Series, so back in November. And some guy asked me, goes, "Hey, now that Goldberg is back, and stuff like that, I know you guys had a history of bad blood, and stuff like that back in WCW. Are you cool now?" He goes, "Yeah, we're cool now. Like, he introduced me to his, his wife and son. They're really, really nice. And me and him are perfectly cool now. So yeah, I'm glad he's back." And I was like, all right, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
But it's good they're playing it up on screen, for the, so.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. This was the XFL, ESPN 30 for 30. Go out, find it, watch it if you can. I'm trying to find it for Jeremy so he can watch it because it's pretty good. But
maybe we should review that. Maybe we'll review that.
That would be a good
whenever I get to see it.
Yes, that is something we should definitely do. I'm gonna try to find it for you, and then we can watch it and talk about it. That'd be really cool to do for sure. And so yeah, I guess we're gonna call it a day because Short sewed. Well, everybody, thanks for stopping by. I am your everyday Dean Ambrose. Caleb, thanks for stopping by.
And I'm Jeremy. I'm just Jeremy, like Just Bailey is Just Bailey. I don't know what I just said.
I like it. T-shirts, I can smell them.
Give me your ducats.
Just Jeremy. Click, big ducats. Oh. Love you, King Ross. All right. See you guys later.
Peace.